China, thousands of children, primarily boys, have been kidnapped in recent years by criminals who sell the children for profit for around $3,000 to $4,000 per child. The trade, driven in part by China's one-child policy and a demand for boys, is a crime authorities seem unable, and in some cases unwilling, to stop. Children of parents in cities like Shenzhen, where migrants flow in and out on a daily basis and neighbors often aren't familiar with one another, are the most common targets of this crime. Sun Haiyang and Peng Siyan, who moved to Shenzhen last year, had their 3-year-old child kidnapped right in front of their pastry shop.
That morning, when I went outside, the shoe mender in front of our shop told me he saw our kid playing with a relative. I had this ominous feeling and went back inside to tell my husband. He immediately jumped out of bed. The kidnapper was very skilled. From the security camera tapes, you can see him luring our son away with a toy. He bought our kid snacks and played with him. He was a professional.
The
shoe mender who saw the kidnapper didn't know us very well. When he saw our kid playing with the kidnapper, he assumed the man was our relative. He said our son walked off with him, hand in hand. I frantically posted missing notices that very night trying to find our son, but there was no response. Instead, I got calls from other parents saying their children were missing too. Only then did I realize how many kids had been kidnapped in Shenzhen.
Many people from all over China come to Shenzhen. Shenzhen is not similar to other cities or to my hometown. In my hometown, people who live there are very familiar with each other. But things are different here. You will never know where this person or that person comes from.
Many parents say local authorities, lacking resources, have done very little to help, and that Chinese law is itself an obstacle.
The police's response was that, according to Chinese law, they couldn't officially classify the case as a kidnapping until 24 hours had passed. We said there were witnesses, and they should have patrol cars on the lookout. They said they would, but did nothing. If they had acted, our child would have been found.
The demand for young children, especially boys, comes largely from parents in countryside villages in Fujian province. Here, traditional values that place a premium on having a son have combined with small-town dynamics, such that villagers feel ashamed if they do not have a boy and are willing to do almost anything to get one. Huang Meihua is part of the Huang clan, who make up almost the entire population of this village. One of the members of her clan was guilty of purchasing a child last year.
The child traffickers build their network of buyers one by one through individual introductions. For example, you introduce someone to me, and I introduce you to another person. Several people here bought kids and say that they're their own, raising them in secret.
This problem is rampant in some areas of the countryside, here and in Shandong province. Some of these country people are very conservative and narrow-minded. They feel they must pass on their surnames through young male heirs.
These conservative values are more the exception than the rule in China. But the demand for young boys is such that organized criminals have made a profitable business of kidnapping children and reselling them in other provinces. Peng Gaofeng, a migrant worker who had his child stolen from him last year, has organized a group of parents of kidnapped children. Called the Baby Come Home Association, the group lists information on thousands of kidnapped children on the internet and allows parents of stolen children to address concerns and communicate with one another.
Through
the website, which already has 5,000 missing children ads on it, and also through instant messaging, we allow parents to share information and to communicate.
Despite their online efforts, Peng says parents' endeavors to bring the issue of child kidnapping and the business that has grown around it to the attention of high officials in Beijing have been repressed.
I went to Beijing for the first time on April 1st to petition with other parents, but the Shenzhen Security Bureau officials were waiting at the train station, and they took us into their cars the moment we got off the train.
On September 21st, I traveled to Beijing along with 40 other parents of kidnapped children. We came from every part of China, though most of the parents came from Guangdong. We were determined to make the government take notice of these cases, to recognize how large the black market for kidnapped children is. I brought a list of 2,000 kidnapped children with me. We demonstrated at the Bird's Nest carrying huge signs of our missing children in hopes that we would get media coverage, but nobody took notice. We went to the headquarters of China Central Television, but we weren't welcome. Child kidnapping isn't positive news, and CCTV only wants to report on positive news about China. A few days later, many police came to our hotel. By that time, many parents wanted to leave, but the police wouldn't let us. They were public security. They grabbed me by the neck and forced my arms behind me. We were then taken to the Petition Bureau. They registered us, asking for our identification. After that, they told us to go back and told us not to petition again. They told us never to petition again.
Parents continue to place their hopes online, which is not completely futile. Last year, a child was found and reunited with his parents through the website.